shit, yeah, they bread stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an...
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk. Your host, Mad Matty, once again with Crazy Chris. Big fight news that just broke out that we just want to hop right on into. We got Colby Covington taking on Jorge Masvidal, whatever the fuck his name is. Either way you look at it, Masvidal versus Covington. You got two of the top welterweights in the division finally agreeing to go into the cage together. Super excited for this fight. I'm pretty fucking sure Crazy Chris is excited as well.
Absolutely.
What do you think of this fight? What's your current thoughts on it?
I think this is 2 years too late, but honestly, it's never been a better time to book the fight. Both of these gentlemen need a fight coming off of a loss to the champion. Jorge's last loss was to Masvidal. Jorge's last loss was to Kamaru Usman by KO, and Colby almost got knocked out in his last fight, also to the champ. So to match these guys up right now after that situation, I think is a perfect time for both of these guys in their career.
Masvidal's last two losses were to Usman, and the last 2 of 3 losses for Covington is to Usman as well. So Usman's just the fucking Grim Reaper of the welterweight division is what it's looking like. I'm excited for this fight. Is it going to be for the Ultimate Fighter?
No. For what I heard, breaking news is it's a short notice fight, so it's supposed to be supposed to be on this next pay-per-view, right?
Well, then that makes it even better. And to me, this favors Colby Covington even more. I feel like Colby has had better fights with the champ than Masvidal has. Masvidal's become a highlight reel from getting slept on the shoulder of Usman. Colby has taken damage but turned the fight around, well, at least in the second fight. The first fight, it didn't end well for him, but the second fight, he turned that into a war and made it, he didn't win, but it looked very close at the very end of that. And I think he has a little bit more grit and a better fighting style overall than Masvidal does, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, I hate agreeing with you so much, but if this isn't an early finish for Masvidal, which I don't see happening, Colby's going to drown him with pressure and put the pace on him. And, Masvidal honestly is washed up. He's the journeyman of the 170 weight class. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful because I personally love Jorge, but he's going to win. He's going to win big fights, but he's never going to be the champ. And same thing with Colby. So when you take that away from both of these guys, you say they both lost twice in 2 different title shots. Kamaru's just the king. You say, okay, who's fighting for number 2? And I think Dana White said it best. If there's no Kamaru Usman, Colby's running the division. So I think Colby by I honestly, I hate to say this, but I think Colby by 3rd round TKO or unanimous decision.
Well, I mean, it depends on how the fight goes. I mean, if he stands and bangs with Masvidal, that's definitely Masvidal's world, and he could take advantage of that. I think he hits hard enough to knock people out.
But these guys have trained with each other, and not only that, lived with each other. So they know very well, very personal things about their weakness and strengths, and they both cornered each other. So I'm just gonna go out and say I think both of them know exactly what to do in this fight, and I just don't see Jorge having, not that he doesn't have enough tools, because he can definitely win this fight. But if it goes the way their fights go, right? Like if we were to simulate this fight, I think 90% of the time Colby drowns him and puts him away.
Yeah, I think the thing about Colby's fights is he puts a pace on guys, and he's relentless. He does, his striking and his grappling are so good. It's on a Usman level. He's just not Usman. You know what I mean?
He's
like
Nick Diaz. You remember when Nick Diaz was in Strikeforce and he'd take a beating, but just pressure these guys until they can't breathe it anymore. They just don't want to get body shotted anymore. They don't want the 3, 4, 5 punch combinations anymore. And that's what Colby does, Yeah,
and Colby's wrestling is just on another level. The only difference to me in these fights is if you look at who they fought in their last 10 fights, Colby's been facing literally just former champion after former champion. He fought Rafa Dos Anjos, destroyed him. Robbie Lawler destroyed him. Who else? Tyron Woodley destroyed him. Like literally broke the guy's ribs. Masvidal's fought Nate Diaz, who, let's be real, the face damage that guy's taken, easy. You cut him open and he's done for. Ben Askren, and then Darren Till, which that was a good fight.
That was a legit win.
That's a legit win.
Top tier competition.
But then you look at who he lost to: Damian Maia, which is no joke. Stephen Thompson, You know, he shows signs of weakness
That's
where
what I'm saying.
Kobe
He
doesn't
loses
show
to
signs of weakness.
he loses to these point fighters. He loses to guys who want the decision, and that's Kobe's style. That's always been Kobe's style, is to put these guys in rough waters. And not that he's trying to overwhelm them with these shots. He just wants to get a pace on them that he's comfortable at, and he's not going to overwork. And he knows these guys aren't going to be able to keep up with, right? Like when you're in gym class, if you're like, oh, this guy's going to outrun the whole class, let's not try to keep up with him. That's Colby Covington. You know what I mean?
Kobe reminds me of the welterweight wrestling version of like a Peter Yan. Like, you know what I mean? Like how you said in the last video where he puts you in quicksand and just lets you sink. It's the same style. Like he can, if he grapples you, he's going to suffocate you. If he stands with you, he's going to work to outtrade you, and he can eat the damage.
So the difference between them is Peter Yan he's very technical, and he's actually calculating these things. Kobe's just putting the pace on you. Like he doesn't give a shit. He's more like a 1969 Ford Mustang, loud and proud. You know, he's coming in full blast, and he's there to beat the shit out of you. And you got to respect that.
Lives up to the nickname Chaos. So you're saying Kobe's he's gonna win this one? Because I think it's
an easy one. I think it's an easy win for Kobe if the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, right? If he makes one mistake, it's lights out. But in the third round, I don't see Jorge having the finishing power.
I don't think that he can hang with the wrestling abilities of just judging off of how he got out wrestled, even though he worked hard to defend takedowns. I don't see him hanging with Kobe for a 5-round fight on short notice when let's be real, he's a guy in Florida. He likes to party. I don't think he's putting in the same work as Colby Covington is. But this brings up a different question too, is with this fight being made, one, does that mean Leon Edwards is next in line for the title? And two, what happens for the winner of this fight? Do they get another title shot? Because both of these guys have fought Kamaru Usman twice now, and they both lost twice. Honestly, Colby, I wouldn't mind seeing a third fight. Masvidal, to me, was decisive. It's like you got knocked out.
So if you're the UFC brass, all right, you let Kamaru Usman finish his second roundabout with Leon and completely go two victories over everybody in the top 5. All right, Gilbert Burns loses to Hamzat, and you have a super mega fight right there. All right, that's Kamaru's next path is Leon Edwards, Hamzat Chimaev. That's his. So
you're saying regardless of who wins this fight, they're gonna have to take a backseat to either Hamzat or Leon Edwards.
If you're Colby Covington and you're Jorge Masvidal, you're doing everything you can to get ready for this fight, and you're praying they book Leon Edwards, and you're praying Leon Edwards wins that fight. All right, which realistically he won't. So if I was managing Jorge, right? Or if I was managing Kobe, I'd say, hey, let's get ready. Let's beat the shit out of this guy because we're going to do that. When we get to the next fight, Kamaru's going to lose, or Kamaru's going to win. Leon's going to lose. Let's try to get that Leon fight. And then let Hamzat go in for his kill and see where he matches against the champion, right? So that way you can take a fight again. You're in good position to win. And you get to see what the next young hungry lion has before you take that deep dive in yourself, right? You take 2 fights you can get and get pretty easy W's if you're Kobe, and not easy W's if you're Jorge, but pretty a way better chance than fighting Hamzat for both of those guys, right? And you let Gilbert Burns get finished by Hamzat, go in there to fight Kamaru Usman, and you let that rest, because after that point Kamaru might retire, and then you might have your chance to get that title shot again.
Or they could look at it a not completely different way, similar to what you're saying, but what they could do, because this isn't booked yet, they could set Usman up with Leon Edwards later on in the year, which would have to be I'm assuming somewhere in the summertime, maybe a little bit after that. And the loser or the winner of this fight would take on Hamzat if he gets through Burns. And then the winner of that fight would be the next to fight after Leon. So that's another way they could look at it. Either way, Hamzat's definitely, if he gets past Burns, he's going to throw himself right in the top 3-4. But this fight has big implications on what's going to happen in the division. Like you said,
man,
everybody.
If you're Hamzat's manager, can you imagine the smile on that man's face right now? Just knowing he's going to every bank asking for what deals they're going to get. It's going to be, that guy's amazing. I can't wait to see him continue.
I honestly do.
He reminds me of of Apocalypto when they used to go hunting with spears. He's just a man's man, dude. I can't wait to see that guy go in there and strangle Gilbert. I'm sorry, Gilbert's a nice guy. I love that guy, but dude, Hamzat is for sure gonna kill him and get.
Dude, Hamzat is the Ghostface killer of the welterweight division. I mean, I really hope that he steamrolls and continues his progress. I'm not a believer in the hype. I need to see the proof. I need to see the proof in the pudding, as they say in the South. I want to see him do work. I want to see him be successful, but I want to see him get tested, and he is going to get tested.
You know, this reminds me of when a friend I was training with, he said, "Hey, what do you think of this Conor McGregor guy?" Right? And it was Conor's second fight, and I said, "You know what? I don't know. He's fighting Max Holloway. Let's see how he does." And when he went 3 rounds with Max Holloway, and he really showed a lot of skills, takedowns, and all that at 145, I said, "You know what? This guy's going to be the next champ." And I have that same feel. I don't need to see any more than I saw. I saw everything in this last fight with the Leech, Li Liang Jing, and he just completely showed what he's capable of. And he's gonna destroy Gilbert, and he's gonna. I hope, and I'm praying. I'm gonna pray to Allah and my God as well that they give him Kamaru Usman. Look, here's the hard fact: is Gilbert Burns he's most likely gonna lose if they book that fight. He's going to lose that fight. And if
I think they are booking it, it's probably going to happen in April.
When he loses that fight, let me rephrase that. When he loses that fight, Hamzat Chimaev if you're his manager, you're screaming on the top of your lungs, title shot. And you get the people to get behind it because Dana does what the people want. That's what's going to pay, the price, the $5 price.
And think about where he's from, bro. Like they lost Habib. You know what I mean? He retired, he has his own promotion, blah, blah, blah. They have a huge following in Dubai and the Middle East and Russia and all of these places. Why not?
Just so you know, his religion is the same as Habib's. He's Muslim, but he lives in Sweden.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I know that
he trains with Gusta.
But I know that in Dubai, they love him when they're fighting over there. And that would be a massive, massive, massive event, especially against somebody of Kamaru Usman's caliber. And honestly, if he loses that fight, there's nothing really to lose. You lost to the best welterweight ever, one of the best besides this guy, literally top 2 of all time.
I can't say what he would, if Kamaru would lose, like I'm talking about Gilbert, but it's a scary matchup for Kamaru Usman too, man. If he really goes in there and destroys Gilbert Burns, like I know he's capable of doing, Kamaru Usman, if I'm a betting man, I throw all of my money on Hamzat, honestly, because here's the thing about being champion. When you're champion like Kamaru Usman is, right? Now you're defending your belt twice against the same guys. And what is he, like 4, 5, 6 fights into his title defenses?
Pretty deep. Yeah.
You're gonna get some wear and tear. And this is the hard part, right? There's always that guy like Hamzat, who's had 4 or 5 minutes of fighting in his total UFC career and has 0 damage, and he's hungry and ready.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Usman's been taking damage in a lot of these fights. He got hit hard by Colby towards the end. He got
Gilbert Burns.
Didn't get dropped, but he got planted on all 4s real quick.
He got planted, yeah. I've been hit with those punches. Those punches usually hurt a lot.
And let's be real, dude. And let's take it even further back. I mean, it wasn't that tough against Masvidal, which makes me think Masvidal's definitely losing against Covington. But the first fight with Covington, the first 2 rounds, really, Colby was bringing it to Usman. Usman had to pick himself up and bring it for the rest of that fight. So he takes damage in the fights. It'll just be interesting. Regardless, Colby Covington's going to be fighting Jorge Masvidal. They agreed on a short-term fight. As a fight fan, I'm extremely excited. 2 former training partners, 2 of the biggest shit talkers, and 2 of the biggest pay-per-view draws coming together. I'm excited. What a year we're going to be having here. This is just great how it continues to get better and better and better. So we both probably think Colby Covington's going to win this one. Would you agree? I mean, it's hard not to go. It's hard not to go for him in this one. I just think he has a better resume. I think he has a better fighting style, just as an MMA fighter.
Let's take politics out of it. If you look at possibilities of winning and fighting style, Colby all day.
Yeah, if Masvidal can land a flying knee or he can throw a haymaker and get the dub, but the chances of that happening that's a betting man's chance. I'm not going with that. I'm going to definitely take Colby for the dub in this one. I got him winning by TKO in either the third or the fourth round by ground and pound. I think he's going to turn it into a grappling match. Once he realizes his stand-up probably isn't on the same level as Masvidal, he's probably going to turn this into a ground war, which Masvidal is going to suffer in.
I think he's gonna sneak out a decision win, and I think it's gonna be a decisive one. I think he's gonna it's gonna be like a Robbie Lawler fight, right, where he just beats on him for 5 rounds, and Robbie was never really in the fight, but he's never really out of the fight, but he's never really in the fight. You know,
I could see that.
I think the same thing's happening to Jorge.
Definitely agree on that. So, once again, guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments. I'm very curious for what your guys' opinions are on this fight. Agree to disagree. Masvidal is a very exciting guy to watch, but personally, I'm a big Colby Covington fan. I love his fight style. He's the best of both worlds to me, so definitely got Colby in this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Once again, hit up Lightspeed Processing if you're a business owner or have business owner friends for all of your processing needs. We also have a new sponsor for, go ahead, Chris.
4 Pillars Research for all your research at your law firm for any injuries, whether that be personal or on the job. Accidents, go ahead and look up 4pillarsresearch.com and Lightspeed-Payments for all your payment processing needs. That's 20% out the door when you purchase your equipment with the code Matty in the subject.
Yeah, man. So we'll see you guys soon.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an